Am I crazy for being bearish in Nvidia at current stock prices? Well, let me explain a little bit more in today's episode, mainly some of the risk I see for the semiconductor giant. So let's get started. Before we go any further, I do want to mention a few points. First, Nvidia is currently my number one position in my portfolio. I want to say it's probably closer to 15-16% of my total portfolio size. Two, I have no intentions of selling my shares anytime soon. Three, I do believe there's a nice amount of risk in the short term of things. Four, I think in the long term of things, though, things are looking pretty exciting for the overall semiconductor giant. But I do believe there are a lot of investors that are probably coming in to Nvidia right now at current prices, and I just kind of want to showcase some of the risks that I believe could affect the company in the short term of things. So first, we can see Nvidia stock price, right, sitting at $257 right now. We can see in the past 5 days the stock is up 13%. In the past month, the stock is up 24.5%, and in the past 6 months, the stock is up 92%. Let's not forget the amazing year-to-date return of roughly 80%. But if we take a closer look from its all-time highs, the stock is still down roughly 22%. So I want to say the first risk I'm seeing here for Nvidia, in my opinion, is this hype that we're seeing in artificial intelligence. But let me explain that real quick. We did see today that analysts upgraded Nvidia due to the belief that AI spending is going to increase dramatically. And I mean, I think it's insane to be able to see these target price upgrades at pretty much the peak, or pretty after the stock has run up roughly 80% year to date. I don't think the AI market is new. I do want to say I think too many investors or new viewers of Nvidia are expecting a lot more for this company. And just like any technology, I want to say sometimes we expect too much in the short term, where I do believe AI will continue to grow and continue to be a huge innovator or a huge innovation tool in the tech market. It's not going to happen as fast as many expect. While maybe a lot of investors might be expecting huge guidance upgrades in the upcoming quarter, I do believe this is something that takes time, right? AI tools are going to continue to pour out, but it might not be as fast as investors might want. And I do believe this creates too much high expectations for the company's stock price and the company's financial performance. And unfortunately, it will not be able to meet those expectations. Right? I mean, we heard ChatGPT 4 came out. We saw Microsoft announce their new Open AI pilot. I forget what it's called. Their AI pilot that is going to be used on all their Microsoft solutions from Word to PowerPoint. And again, we're seeing all these news and everybody's getting very excited about the AI hype. And I do believe, like I mentioned, AI will continue to improve our daily lives, but it's going to take a lot longer. And for Nvidia to kind of show those results is also going to be a long-term thing. So especially talking about AI hype right now at $260, I think that's when things start to get risky. Obviously, if you follow this channel, we were kind of talking about Nvidia when the stock was sitting at 120 in October, and we were mentioning those AI solutions, right? Wow, AI is going to continue to grow. So I think right now, it might not. I think right now the stock has huge potential, and I do believe the market cap can eventually hit $1 trillion. But at a market cap of $635 billion, I believe this is a stock that now you have too much risk to reward. And I'll explain a little bit more, and I'll kind of explain what I would do if I was a new investor to Nvidia at the end of the episode. But I want to say that is the first risk. Before we go any further, I want to thank you for watching, and I need your help to reach my goal of 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you can do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and thumbs up. Also, if you want some fantastic insight into the semiconductor industry, join my other channel, Semiconductor Investing and More, where I use my electrical engineering background to break down the semiconductor market. Finally, I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode. The second risk that I believe Nvidia can have is this over inventory correction risk. And I'm not talking about over inventory correction in the consumer side. That's what we're seeing right now. And that's why Nvidia's kind of gaming market and other consumer products took a huge dive from, for example, earlier last year. Obviously, we did see kind of that crypto boom kind of created this over inventory correction, followed by the consumer market also weakening and really hurt this company's gaming segment. I have a fear that right now we are seeing all these big tech giants, all these cloud server providers, and all these huge enterprises buy out NVIDIA's GPUs due to this huge demand of AI market. But what I am worried about, and this is something we see a lot in the tech space, especially in the memory market. If you follow the memory market, you tend to see where a lot of companies tend to buy off a lot of memory at the beginning, and then pretty much over inventory, right? Then they start to realize, hey, we didn't really need that much memory to begin with, so we're going to slow down purchases and we're going to kind of slow down on spending in this market because we over ordered. I think right now that could be a risk that cloud server providers might be doing, especially with this AI battle that's happening. Companies like Google, companies like Microsoft might be ordering GPUs like crazy, and we'll hear about it in their upcoming earnings. But in a year from now or a year and a half from now, Microsoft and Google can be like, hey, wait a minute, we bought too many of these GPUs, which we were using for AI workloads. Luckily, we can use them for other infrastructure solutions in the clouding market. But at least for now, we can slow our capital expenditure and maybe not buy as many GPUs for the foreseeable short-term future. And I do believe that can cause a lot of negativity to a company like Nvidia. I mean, taking a closer look at charts, we can see Nvidia's quarterly revenue, how it's kind of shifted dramatically. I do believe the previous quarter was the bottom for Nvidia, and we're going to start to see quarter over quarter gains, but it is going to take some time before we get to those peak levels that the company was before. We can see it also in trailing 12 months revenue, how this was roughly 30 billion at peak. Now it's down to 27 billion. Not a huge drop, but definitely still far off from its peak. And then another thing I want to mention is maybe price to sales ratio might not be the best metric to look at valuation for Nvidia, but I do believe sometimes these metrics, if you're just looking at their normal or their average, can help you dictate of where the stock price usually tends to trade at. I do believe anything below in the mid-teens is where Nvidia looks pretty attractive. Right now we can see price to sales ratio is above 24, and this is where, again, it starts to get a little bit tricky when buying the stock. Like I mentioned, I am an Nvidia shareholder. I have no intentions of selling, but if I was a new investor right now, I personally wouldn't go in all at once. I feel like with current prices, with current returns, the return potential and the risk reward is just not there. Obviously, in the long term of things, Nvidia has a huge opportunity. I mean, in their data center market, obviously that can continue to grow from not just the AI solutions, but just clouding solutions in general. The gaming market, the consumer market, and the over inventory correction in that space is kind of easing up. So I do expect growth there. The automotive market, in my opinion, is going to continue to grow at dramatic levels, but unfortunately, it's still such a small portion of this company's total revenue, where I don't see in the next 4 quarters any of this shifting dramatically. In the next 3 years, definitely I can see Nvidia being a way better company. So again, for me, Nvidia right now is a company that if I wanted to enter, it would be with very small positions and kind of dollar cost average from here. But I personally wouldn't enter this company at a big position because of all the risk. And I want to say there is a huge potential, not a guaranteed, and that's the way the market works, right? You just have to see probability. I do believe there is a huge probability that the stock price can fall back, but like probability, nothing's 100%. So obviously the stock price can continue to go up. But I do believe, unfortunately, this AI hype is creating a lot of risk for my favorite semiconductor companies. And at these levels, I just want to say, hey, be careful if one is planning on entering in this stock. It doesn't mean buy, it doesn't mean sell. It just, hey, understand the risk and that, hey, this is a company that stock price can be heavily volatile, again, especially after those year-to-date returns. So let me know in the comments below, do you guys think I'm crazy for seeing this kind of risk on Nvidia right now, or is it to the moon for this stock? So for me, I have no intentions of selling anytime soon. I personally, since it's already a big position, have no intentions of buying. In the long term of things, I think Nvidia can really reach $1 trillion market cap. It's not going to be a straight line though. It's going to be a very bumpy road for it to happen. But with all the growth opportunities, I can definitely see this hitting $1 trillion. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.